Earth Canadian Gamer coming at you with another video. It's been several days since I put out a video. Lots going on. I do have to say, and I've said this before many times on the channel, I don't do YouTube full time. I do it when I can, and if I'm not busy, I might be able to put out a video every couple of days. But when I am busy, YouTube takes a back seat. It's last priority in the list of things to do. So I'm not saying that, acting like, oh, I'm Mr. Busy, like Mr. Important or anything. But, and I think most of you that watch my channel, because I don't have a lot of subscribers, but you would understand that I'm not like a Dreamcast guy or, Metal Jesus. Well, Metal Jesus is a bad example. I think I put out more content than that guy these days. But yeah, no, when I'm busy, unfortunately YouTube takes a back seat. It's there, and I get to it when I get to it. So it is what it is. That being said, lots to talk about here. I don't want it to be a long video, but I have a sneaky suspicion it might end up being 20 minutes long. We'll see. Couple of things. First thing, I beat Starfield. I beat it last night. We won't talk about it much here. I'm going to actually record this video that you're watching now, and then I'm going to come back later and record my Starfield final thoughts / review video. I got lots to say on that, so keep an eye out for that. But the purpose of today's video, I wanted to show you some more recent pickups. I have some interesting pickups here. I've been out and about. And before I even get into that, yesterday on the way to Ottawa, and this is the first time I've seen one of these since I moved to the area back in 1995. So we're talking 28 years. I saw a moose. It walked right in front of my vehicle, close to Ottawa, on the back roads. And I kind of thought to myself, should I report this to the news? Maybe contact, the police, let them know there's a moose in the area. But maybe not, because it's not actually, it's uncommon, but it's not unheard of. Definitely because Ottawa is close to northern Ontario in a way. It's not too far. It's very possible for moose to trickle down into the Ottawa Valley. If you travel further north, if you go into the Quebec region, or you go up to North Bay, or travel on your way to Timmins, Ontario, you will start to see moose signs on the side of the road. So I saw a moose. It wasn't a huge moose. I took a small little clip here. And then today on the news, there was a 4-vehicle accident last night on the 416 near Ottawa. And it must have been the same moose. It came out. Luckily, it doesn't look like any fatalities. But there was the moose didn't survive. It got killed. So crazy. Who knows if it was the same moose, right? Probably was, but we don't know. We don't know. So wanted to share that. I was also out in Belleville, and I got a few pickups there. So I'll show you that in just a minute. So a couple of days ago when I was in Ottawa, I went to the pawn shop, and like I said, a lot of you guys don't like to go into the pawn shops. I get it. But a lot of times when you go to the pawn shop, that's where you find the gold. And this was no exception. So what I was able to pick up, and I think I paid $15 for it. I got Far Cry 5 for the Xbox 360 Steelbook. And you maybe ask yourself, didn't you just beat Far Cry 5 a couple of months ago? Why are you buying it again? Well, it's because I enjoyed Far Cry 5 so much that when I saw the Steelbook, I was like, I have to have that. So I did. I picked up Far Cry 5. And I've got New Dawn here, which I actually don't really like, in here. And what I did was I took my other copy of Far Cry 5 and I'm going to donate that to the thrift store. Now, interesting, I'm trying not to hoard, one game comes into the games room, one game comes out sort of mentality. So I brought this into the games room, and then I obviously took out my original copy of Far Cry 5. But I also, I was hesitant to do it, but I pulled out Far Cry 6. I don't think I'm ever going to touch Far Cry 6 ever again. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. I put out a review on Far Cry 6, and I really didn't enjoy it. So that is only the second time, I want to say. Maybe not. I think so. It's only the second time that I've ever removed a game from the more modern consoles, if you will. So the only other one was God of War on the PS4. I didn't like that, and after I beat God of War, I pulled that out of the collection as well. So yeah, Far Cry 6 and God of War, those games are no longer in the collection. So yeah, really cool to have that. Really cool, awesome looking steelbook with the Seed family on the steelbook. You don't see this steelbook too often. I don't. So it was really, really cool to have that. So now the pawn shop was asking $20 for this, still in shrink wrap, believe it or not. And I negotiated, would you take these two games, Far Cry 5 steelbook and this game I'm about to show you, would you take both for 32 for 30? So they went for it. So I ended up getting this game for $15. And that is the Observer, or maybe it's just called Observer. This is the System Redux version. Here it is by Team Bloober. Here it is. Rutger Hauer. Kind of a cyberpunk adventure point and click game, if you will. Not point and click, but you know what I mean. If you've played any of the Team Bloober games. I played Blair Witch on the PS4 and I thought it was amazing. So I am excited to get into this when I have a chance. This was on my list. This was on my short list of games I needed to pick up for the Xbox One. And this is Series X Enhanced, as you can see there. Awesome. Very happy to have that. Very happy to have that. Now, the other thing I want to mention here is RoboCop Rogue City is coming out in a couple of days this week. There's a lot of excitement about that. And I think a lot of the excitement also stems from the fact that when this game came out, Terminator Resistance, it was a surprise, almost like a cult hit. This was really good. I reviewed this game as well last year, maybe it was this year earlier, and glowing praise. I thought this was fantastic. Now, interesting enough, the PS5 got an enhanced version of this game with an alternate cover art and some enhancements for the PS5. I think it was running at 60 FPS, 4K resolution, and we never got that version on the Xbox. I guess maybe this has to do with, the team. What is it? Teon? Team Teon. I think they're based out of one of the European countries. I apologize, I can't remember which country that is. They were the small dev team behind this, and they did the Rambo game, which came out, I think, on the Xbox One and the PS4 as well. Never played that one. But because there's a lot of hype around RoboCop Rogue City, and again, I think a lot of it has to do with how good this game was, Teon has reissued Terminator Resistance for the Xbox Series X. And it looks to be exclusive to the Xbox. And it's like the enhanced edition, and it has a different box cover art as well, different than the PS5 version. And the Xbox version has all the DLC, which is not on the disc here. Running in 4K at 60 FPS. Just came out a couple of days ago, maybe Friday. I don't know if that's just in the UK. I know Marcus from Dads and Lads Gaming got a copy along with his son, I believe. But man, you can upgrade to the enhanced version from this version. You can get a DLC for it, and it's like $15-20. But a part of me kind of wants to go and get the enhanced version because the artwork on the cover art is awesome looking. But man, I paid not full retail for this, but I think I paid $40 or $50 for this. And I hate to get rid of it because, you could probably get a few dollars for this. But man, that enhanced version really, really, really piqued my interest. But at the same time, Rogue City's coming out in a couple of days, and that's on my bucket list of games to play and beat this year as well. But I also have to deal with Alan Wake 2, which is something that I will be handling today. I will be downloading Alan Wake 2. I redeemed $50 worth of points on my credit card, so it's not really costing me anything. I will be downloading Alan Wake 2 today, and I will start playing that. So we're all over the fucking map here, as you can see. Lots going on. Great time to be a gamer. Maybe it's a bad time to be a gamer. Too many games to play. First world problems, as they say. So anyhow, I went out to Belleville, and I found this video game store, and I got the receipt here, and it's called P Market. Now I walked in, it looked like a hole in the wall. I walked in, and aside from the video game store in Toronto, which I've been to before, that's huge. This is the second biggest retro video game store I've ever been in. I took a little bit of video. I couldn't take much. Everything was priced accordingly in the store. They had everything under the sun. Okay, they had a copy of Outrun for the Genesis. It was $129. They had Outrunners, $59.99. They had all the heavy hitters. And I had to be careful because I'm in there and I'm seeing things that really pique my interest, and I got stuff in my hands. I found a Duke controller. It was $30. I ended up putting it back. They had a couple of Justifier light guns, and I don't know if the video, if I can put it in here or not, because I've been having issues with my iPhone. They had a Justifier, like a blue Justifier light gun for the Genesis, like I have, which is for Lethal Enforcers. And then they had an orange one, but it didn't say Justifier on it. So I'm like, what? I'm like, is this an aftermarket gun? And then because the pink Justifier gun was a very rare gun that you could only get via mail-in coupon, mail-in rebate. If you bought the Lethal Enforcers for the Genesis, you could send that out and you could get the pink light gun. Now, I didn't know this, but over time, the pink plastic faded, got sun faded, bleached, if you will, and a lot of times the pink Justifier would become orange. So I don't know if that Justifier I was looking at, which was only $20, I don't know if it was a pink Justifier, and if so, I should have picked it up. But then you go online and you look at the pink Justifier, and it actually says Justifier on it. So I have no idea, because this orange light gun, which looked like a Justifier, didn't say Justifier on it. I don't know. The answer is I don't know. So I had to be picky and choosy in there, but I did pick up a couple of games. It still ended up costing me about $80. The first game I picked up for the Sega Genesis was Zany Golf for $15. Now this completes my North American complete subset of golf games for the Sega Genesis. There was like 2 other golf games that were released for the Genesis over in Japan that we didn't get. There was, I believe, Wicked 18 Golf, True Golf Presents, which also did Pebble Beach, which came out on the Genesis in North America. Wicked 18 came out on the SNES here. I used to have it. And I believe it came out on the Genesis as well. And then True Golf Presents also released another golf game for the Genesis, which came out in Japan only, and it takes place in like Waikiki, and it's, again, we didn't get it here. So yeah, Zany Golf, there it is. It's not really a golf game in the truest sense, but it still would be considered part of the subset. So look out for that video. I'll be putting that out in a couple of days. It'll be a very brief video, just showcasing my subset. Took a long time to piece that together, but it's done. I'm pretty sure it's done. The next game that I have here, and I think I paid maybe $10 for this, maybe $15. That is Painkiller Hell Wars for the original Xbox. This is a first-person shooter. Really looks good. I cannot wait to play it. Look at that cover art. That just oozes 6th gen. I think this only came out on the OG Xbox and on the PC as well, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, really cool to have Painkiller Hell Wars. Kind of has a little bit of a Max Payne aesthetic to it, if you will. So yeah, pretty cool. Now this one here, if you guys have been watching my videos lately, I picked up The Darkness for the Xbox 360, and I picked up excuse me, Darkness 2. It says limited edition on here, but I don't think there's anything limited about it. Focus. Focus. Camera. Darkness 2. So I watched a video on this by G-Man Lives, and unbeknownst to me, this is a cel-shaded first-person shooter, kind of like the game 10. And Darkness 2, some people gave a little bit of a lukewarm reception when it came out back in 2012, but I watched the video of it and it looks really good. It's like a linear experience, not an overly long single player campaign. Well, it looks good. It does. It looks really good. So I was happy to pick up Darkness 2, and it didn't cost that much. So I picked that up. And the last game that I picked up here, I've been looking for this for like 3 years. A longtime subscriber of my channel, I think he's still subscribed, Warehouse Dave. Dave is actually, or at least he was, he lived out of the Tampa Bay, Florida region. Maybe not Tampa Bay, but he was a reseller. He would definitely purchase games. He had a warehouse, and he would sell games, resell them on eBay. So he was doing that. And he told me about this game, which I think I had heard of it, but I never really looked into it. And that's Darkest of Days. Darkest of Days. So this is a very unique game. It's kind of like the Deadly Premonition of first-person shooters. This game came out on the PC and the 360. Didn't come out anywhere else, I don't believe. Maybe it came out on the Mac OS. Really weird game. Really weird game. You start out, it's time period based, and you start out and you're in the Civil War with Colonel Custer, and he dies. And then the next thing you know, you get transported into the future. I don't know if you can see that on the box art. Look at the background. It's like a portal. You get transported into the future, and the next thing you know, you've got like a shotgun as an example, modern firearms, and then you get teleported back into the past, and all the locations take place in historical time periods, historical events, as an example, like the Civil War, Western periods. But when you go back in time, you've got modern weapons, if that makes any fucking sense. And the big selling feature with this game when it came out was the studio behind this game. They had like a custom engine they were using, where they had like at the time, this was the selling feature. They were saying there was like hundreds of NPCs on screen at once. And to their credit, there's a lot of NPCs on screen at once. I don't know how that impacts the frame rate. We'll see. But all that being said, it's kind of like Deadly Premonition. Is this going to win any awards? No. Is it extremely weird, quirky, and unique? Yes. Is it extremely rare? It is. It's very hard to find. And it's one of those games that's extremely rare, kind of like World Racing 2 for the original Xbox, but it's not one that's really on anybody's radar at the moment. That being said, the game was priced accordingly. It wasn't expensive, but it wasn't cheap. It was $25. But if you were to get this on eBay, it's probably going to cost you closer to $30 or $40. So it is complete in box. It is mint. I had to have it. And like I said, when you're going into these stores, you have to kind of pull back the reins and be careful, because you go in there and it's very easy for you to, not being able to resist temptation, if you will, and you spend like $500. Could I dropped a couple $100 in there? Yeah, I could have. Could I bought a copy of Outrun complete in box for $129, or Silent Hill for the PS1 for $130? Yeah, I could have, but no, I'm not going to do that. That store had some expensive games. They had like literally every game under the sun. And I went in there, and I will say this: the customer service was fucking dog shit. Because I went in there with what did I have? I had Burnout 2 for the PS2, and I had Far Cry 6. And I walked in, I'm like, would you take anything for this? Like, and the guy looks at me, the kid looks at me. He might have just been a kid working there, right? I don't know. He goes, nope. Like, thinking to myself, what do you mean, no? So I'm like, okay, whatever. I put the games back in my car. I go back in. I'm in the back room, and like there's like I said, really, really expensive games priced accordingly. Like we're talking like Splatterhouse 2 for the Genesis, like $399. Splatterhouse 3, $400. Like priced accordingly, and that's fine. They're running a business. I get it. I get it. So I'm back there because I wanted him to open up the glass cabinet so I could to pick up Zany Golf, and I said just out of curiosity, I'm like, is any of this negotiable as far as the price is concerned? He goes, no. I'm like, fuck you, you asshole. So, would I recommend P Market Games? Was it P Market? Would I recommend their store? Yeah, I would. Would I recommend going in there and paying top dollar for these heavy hitters? I mean, it just depends on if you want to do it or not, right? It depends. I had to pull back. I saw some things where I was just in there in the moment. And I'm like, it's now or never. I'm never going to see this again. I might as well just pick it up now. But I didn't. I pulled back the reins. Kind of like what Metal Jesus does. You know what I mean? I picked up a game to me that's important. Darkest of Days. To me, $25 for this is a good deal. Because I can't find it anywhere. I want it. And $25 doesn't break the bank. You know what I mean? $15 for the Darkness 2. $10 for Painkiller. It all adds up to like $70 or $80. But, to go in there and just like, I'll get this is like Michael Jackson, right? I'll get this. Yeah, I could do that. I could. No problem. But I can't justify doing that. The justifier. That's the only thing I regret. But, I had the Duke controller in my hand because I've always wanted one. You know what? Can't believe I'm saying this. I don't think I'm a big fan of the Duke controller. And the reason why is I don't like the thumbsticks. They're not, how do you say it? Concave? They're convexed. So it's like the round part is outwards. I didn't like the thumbsticks. I didn't. So not to say I won't pick up a Duke controller, but I'm not going to pay $30 for one. If I come across one out in the wild for 10, 15, sure. But I'm not paying $30 for a Duke controller. Not at this point. So, and on the way home, 3 vehicles came up from behind me with the craziest xenon headlights ever. And it was the Lucid Air, the EV that you can get. It's not as common as, it's not very common at all. But I saw the Lucid. They're like over $100,000. And it looked like not a supercar, but it looked like a very sporty sedan. It looked really cool, passed me by on the highway. I'm not a huge fan of EVs. But the Lucid Air looked pretty fucking badass, pardon my French. It looked pretty badass. Again, I took a small video clip of it, but for whatever reason, when I record video with my iPhone, some clips I'm able to sort of play on Windows 11 or in Sony Vegas, and some clips, for whatever reason, there's compatibility issues. So, yeah, it is what it is. But anyways, that's it for my long-winded pickups. Yeah. Sorry, I already talked about it. Forget it. I was going to bring up the moose. Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. By the time you watch this, I will be recording my Starfield final thoughts for now video. I say for now because there's so much more to do in that game. So I'm going to cut it off there. This video is already over the 24-minute mark. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you're doing well, getting ready for Halloween as well. So I'll be back with a little video later, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day. Take care.